Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at something pretty interesting. It's from the St. John Baptist de La Salle Pastorate that's in Holy Cross, Iowa.
Okay.
And they're using this thing called the Disciple Maker Index Survey. It's basically to kind of get a feel for how their community is experiencing faith.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like, how do you measure faith, right?
That's a really good question. And actually, this isn't just something they're doing locally.
Mm.
It's like a nationwide thing.
Wow.
Over 600,000 responses already. Imagine trying to get a picture of faith across the whole country.
That's a lot of people. So this pastorate, it's a group of Catholic parishes.
Yes, exactly.
Right, but
5 of them, actually. Holy Cross, Holy Trinity, St. Francis, St. Joseph, and then St. Peter and Paul.
Okay, so they're all like working together on this.
Yeah, they're trying to use this survey to, make their community stronger, figure
Sure.
out how to better help people.
No, one thing that stood out to me, they got some big names involved in making this survey.
Mhm.
Like Sherry Weddell, Matthew Kelly, people like that.
Wow, those are some heavy hitters.
Yeah, they're pretty well known in like Catholic circles. So what do you think that tells us about what they're trying to do with this survey?
Well, it seems like they want to go deeper, like
Mm.
not just ask surface level questions.
Right.
Both Waddell and Kelly, they're all about forming disciples.
Yes.
Not just people who believe, but who really live their faith.
Ah, okay. And that connects to this idea of missionary discipleship I keep seeing.
Exactly. It's about
Mhm.
moving beyond just believing passively. It's about actually living and sharing your faith.
So they're trying to, help people be more intentional with their
That's
faith.
how they share it.
Okay, but how does this survey actually work? What kind of questions are we talking about?
Well, it takes about 10, 15 minutes. You can do it online or with a paper copy. They want to make sure everyone can do it.
Oh, so it's accessible for everybody.
Yeah. And everything is confidential.
That's important, so people can be honest without, worrying about who's seeing their answers.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And the data they only reported as a whole, they're looking at the big picture, not individual responses.
Gotcha, that makes sense. So they're really trying to get a sense of the community's, spiritual landscape.
Exactly.
Have they found anything interesting so far?
Well, one thing they're seeing is that a lot of parishioners feel kind of disconnected from their faith in their daily lives, I mean.
Really?
Yeah. They believe, but it's like they struggle to actually connect it to what they do every day.
So it's not that they don't believe, it's that they have trouble, putting it into action.
That's it. And the pastorate, they're trying to figure out how to bridge that gap.
Mm.
They want to develop programs and resources to help people actually live their faith. It's not enough to just give them information.
Right, right.
They need to give them tools, support, help them actually make it real.
So it's about moving from, just believing to actually being a disciple.
Exactly.
And they're using this survey to figure out how to do that.
Makes sense.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just about going to church. It's about, figuring out how your faith fits into everything. Work, family, everything.
Absolutely.
It's about finding meaning, purpose.
Right.
So, if I was taking the survey, would they ask about how my faith affects my decisions?
Probably.
Yeah.
And how you treat other people.
Yeah.
The stuff that really matters.
Wow. This is, way more than just a survey, isn't it?
Right. It's about starting a conversation, getting people to really think about their faith, and not in a judgmental way either.
More like a way to help people grow, right?
Exactly.
So, this disconnect that you mentioned, are there, any specific examples from the survey that show that?
Well, one thing that really jumped out was this whole idea of talking about faith with others.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. A lot of people said they want to share their faith,
Mm.
but they don't feel like they know how to,
Really?
especially when things get, a little tough.
Ah, so, when you disagree with someone.
Exactly. Or when you're talking about something that's, kind of controversial.
Yeah, those conversations can be hard.
Exactly. And the pastorate, they're trying to help with that.
Oh, how so?
They're starting these workshops and discussion groups to help people learn how to talk about their faith.
So it's not that people don't want to share. It's more like they need some skills.
Yeah, how to communicate better, how to have those tough conversations without, things getting out of hand.
Makes sense. And they got this info from the survey?
Yep, they saw it was a need, so they're trying to address it.
That's cool. It's like they're really listening to what their community is saying.
Exactly. And that's not the only thing. They also found that a lot of younger people feel kind of isolated
isolated, like
Yeah.
within the church.
Yeah, like they're not really connected to the older generations.
That's interesting.
It's like they want mentors, people who can, share their wisdom and experience.
I can see that. It's like that whole thing about, bridging the generation gap.
Right. It's a thing everywhere, not just in churches. But here's the thing. The survey data, it
Yeah.
backs that up. It's not just, people talking.
It's like they have proof.
Exactly. So now the pastorate, they're trying to create more opportunities for young people to connect with older people.
Like mentorship programs.
Yeah, things like that. They
Yeah.
want to make sure everyone feels, like they belong.
That's really cool. It's instead of just guessing what people need, they're using the data to figure it out.
Exactly. And it's not always about, problems.
No.
The survey also showed some really good things.
Oh, like what?
Like, a lot of people said they feel a strong sense of belonging because of the church's outreach programs.
So it's about finding purpose too.
Yeah, totally. And it's cool because now the pastorate, they know that those programs are important, so they're trying to make them even better.
I get it. So it's like the survey helps them see what's working well and then do more of that.
Yep. It's not just about fixing problems. It's about, making the good things even better.
This is amazing. It's like this one little survey is doing so much.
Right? It's like a ripple effect.
People are talking, the church is changing.
And it's all because they took the time to listen.
It makes you wonder, what if everyone did this?
Like, not just churches.
Yeah, like businesses, schools, everything. Imagine how much better things could be.
Whoa, now that would be interesting to see.
If everyone, listened to their people and used that info to make things better.
It all comes down to understanding, right? Like really listening to what people need and want.
And being willing to change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not about, having all the answers. It's about being open to learning.
This is blowing my mind. It's like all this from a simple survey.
I know, right?
It's really making me think about this whole idea of, missionary discipleship.
Yeah, it's not about just believing. It's about learning and growing.
And it's something we can all do, whether we're part of a church or not.
That's the beauty of it.
It really makes you think, what if more places took this kind of approach?
Seriously.
Not just, religious groups, but businesses could do this kind of thing too.
Oh, totally. Imagine if companies used surveys to figure out what their employees need.
Right, to help them grow and be more engaged.
Exactly. Or even community organizations. They could use data to figure out where to focus their resources.
So it's like these ideas, they could work anywhere, not just in a church setting.
It's all about understanding, like really getting to know the people you're serving.
And being willing to change based on what you learn.
Exactly. It's not about being perfect. It's about being open to learning and growing.
And that's something we can all do,
Perfect.
whether it's our faith, our work, our relationships.
That's a journey.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive, what's the one big takeaway you hope people get from all this?
Well, I think the most important thing is this. No matter where you are in life, growth happens when you're willing to listen, when you try to understand, and when you're not afraid to adapt.
That's pretty powerful.
It's about being open to change, both in ourselves and in the world around us.
Absolutely.
So as you're, going about your day, think about that. How can you be more like that in your own life?
That's a great challenge. And who knows, maybe it'll spark a deep dive of your own. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.